This is the height switch or the height sensor on a variable rate drive planter, or if you have a planter that has row command. It's important that you calibrate this in the monitor. This sets the start and stop planting height of the planter, and also make sure that your row command can work. So you need to make sure and calibrate this in the monitor, which is covered in a later section. This is your hydraulic drives on, this happens to be on a 16-row planter. On the 24-row planters, it's actually out on the wing by near your vac motor. This is the motor itself. This is your control valve with the solenoid on it. And then here is your speed sensor. All this is controlled in the cab. Your population and everything is all controlled right in the cab. Not a whole lot really to do here. Just take note that this is your hydraulic motor, and then there is a speed sensor and a solenoid valve, so there's a couple connectors you may check if you have issues. This is a pneumatic downforce, which is coming on most of the newer planters. This is just an airbag that is maintaining your down pressure against the row unit to prevent seed row unit bounce and inconsistent spacing. Now, a couple things here, just you want to air this up and let it sit overnight before you go to the field, and it shouldn't have leaked down a whole lot overnight. If you air it up and in a couple hours it's leaked down, you probably got something that's leaking a little more than it should be, so you may want to investigate your air system. Most guys are going to run somewhere in the neighborhood between 100 to 180 pounds is what I've seen as I've been in the countryside. Again, that's going to be totally dependent on your field conditions, how it worked up, if you're no-till, things of that nature. If you're no-till, obviously you're going to probably run significantly more than that. But don't overdo this. Don't get too much downforce. You want to run just so your row units are not bouncing, and so they're running nice and smooth. But if you put too much downforce, what you're going to do is you're going to compact those gauge wheels, and it's going to pack your seed trench, and you may have some emergence issues. Now, a couple other things to keep in mind. Just make sure there's no tears, and again, before you go to the field, air it up with an air compressor. Don't use the little pump that's provided with the planter to air this system up from a completely drained system. All that is there to do is maintain it or change the amount of air pressure slightly. So if it's leaked down like this, or if it's a new planter that's never had air in it, you want to go ahead and use an air compressor and pump it up to roughly where you're going to run, and then use the little pump to maintain it or make slight changes as you're changing field conditions. This is your pneumatic downforce pump for your airbags. There's a gauge right here. The outside is your actual air pressure. The inside graduation is your downforce. So again, outside is air pressure, inside is your downforce. Here is your switch to turn it on and off. And again, you want to fill that system with an air compressor right in this location. There's a valve stem right here. Take the cap off, fill it up to approximately where you're going to be, and then use this switch to turn it on to get it to the exact amount. To release air pressure, turn these valves, and that will release your air pressure to let air pressure out of the system.